as we get ready to rock and roll at Stafford.
They come off turn number 4 and they rumble down into turn number 1. Amanda West guards the inside lane. As to the outside, it is Robert Bloxham III. Bloxham has a slight advantage. Matthews sits back in the 3rd spot. Matt, as they continue to make their magic off turn number 4, it is Amanda West to lead lap number 1.
Behind Chris Matthews, Joey Farino, and right now he is out-muscled by Alexander Pearl in car number 7. Battle for the lead on the outside. Bloxham yanks it away from Amanda West.
He, meanwhile, in the upper groove, all of a sudden, here comes Alexander Pearl, the black number 7, like a man possessed, moves to the top side of the racetrack, moves around Farino. Who's the tail that wags the dog there? It is the Mr. Reuters machine for JP. He runs right there with him, but look out because Pearl is now all over the back bumper of Matthews.
And trying to move inside is Joey Farino, so a pretty clever move there by the mare in car number 87. And Pearl might have been shoved by Jonathan Pulio to get him into 4th place.
There's no question about it. JP, Jonathan Pulio, has found some magic in the upper groove. Right there behind him, Buckeye with a brand new race car. It's not a new race car to here at Stafford. It's the car that Alkis drove very successfully here, and Buckeye takes over the ride. Behind him, it's Narducci. Behind Narducci, it is Chapman off the turn. Back down the back straightaway. Alexander Pearl moves into the top 3. Behind him is a gaggle of cars, Matt, and nobody is given a square inch on the racetrack. Julio has now moved into the 5th spot, and all of a sudden, Buckeye moves to the outside, and look at Narducci.
Well, Alexander Pearl is going after Amanda West in the 15. Now he hangs out to the outside. Chris Matthews looks like he did in 2006.
Caution.
Yellow comes out for the first time.
We've got a car spun to the bottom of turn number 4. And
that is Rit Dulac in the 99.
5 of 20 as the countdown continues. Green and the racing. And Bloxham has the advantage again. Little different line strategy. As Pearl goes, that's Alexander Pearl, goes to the inside, down underneath Amanda West. Amanda doing an outstanding job tonight. And now Buckeye, with the number 89 car, moves into the 3rd spot. Brian Narducci becomes the tail that wags a dog, and we've got a yellow, and it is for the 19 machine, the Newtown Pools car.
That's Charlie McDougall behind the wheel. That is a family business of the McDougalls, Newtown Pools. 3 generations of champions for the Pearl family.
And don't forget, Brian Narducci also has won his share of titles and had a share of success. Here they go, back up to speed. And Bloxham has a brand new contender in the outside groove. Down the back straightaway, Alexander Pearl.
But what a move by Buckeye.
Buckeye has been a surprise to some in that race car as he puts that machine into 2nd, and glued to his back bumper is Brian Narducci. But that's not the only story. Here comes Chapman with the number 14 car. Julio's car, little crunched to the back panel of the car, but that's not stopping him. And Hodgson is coming to life.
Narducci makes a dive bomb move to the inside to get into 2nd place.
Well, it's the battle of the Pearl family. Even though his last name is Narducci, his mother is a Pearl. And they come off turn number 4 and back to the strike. Alexander Pearl in a battle of what we would call a family affair, Matt.
Yeah,
is taking
Salem
place
Showdown.
at the front.
The Salem Showdown. Here comes Brian as he makes an enticing move to the inside as they rabble-rouse their way off the corner. Brian Narducci trying to move into the lead, but Alexander Pearl is leading by the length of a cookie crumb.
He certainly isn't about to give up in that outside lane. Here comes Buckeye. It's do or die time at the point in this one. Deep down in turn number 3. Leader of the pack still. It is Brian Narducci. All of a sudden, Narducci's car drifts up the hill. The inside lane suddenly opens up. Buckeye is now in the second spot. Pearl drops back to third. Bloxham is in the fourth spot. And it is Cassandra Cole to the center of the infield. And we've got Sammy Anderson spun in the backstretch as well on the inside grass. Here they come. Green flag is back out. And Narducci has a slight advantage over Buckeye, but then Pearl is right there. Now look at Buckeye. Little tap to the back bumper and blocks him. Just doesn't want to give up in that outside groove.
Well, he has a shock and awe right now as he tries to take third away from Alexander Pearl, trying to widen his lead as Narducci, and Buckeye won't let that happen. Buckeye, a bear hug to the back bumper of the Narducci car.
Meanwhile, it is Alexander Pearl that comes back to the third spot. Then there are 6 cars contending for position number 3. And in that heated battle is Amanda West to the bottom, and to the outside, it is still Bloxham. Meanwhile, Chapman has found a home on the inside lane down underneath Pulio. That's the battle for the 6th and 7th spot. Here comes Teddy Hodgson. He's a late bloomer in this one as Prucker spins on the backstretch just to the right of the scoreboard.
You know, Mark Buckeye is pretty crafty. He is, we have a problem with Wesley Prucker, who is buried on the lawn on the backstretch. So the moment of truth, a very critical double file restart that could determine the winner. With Buckeye on the outside trying to breathe fire against Narducci, they come to the line, and it is Buckeye. Narducci does not come up to speed.
Narducci is in trouble.
Pearl is in trouble as he slams a wall. And there is a firecracker show in turn number 1. Narducci did not come up to speed, and the entire inside lane was at risk.
And the cars that we believe unofficially are involved was the 87 of Joey Farino and the 7 of Alexander Pearl.
Yeah, we saw Pearl and Farino get hooked up, and they both headed into the concrete.
And Matt, you said it just a few minutes ago. What about that check?
Yeah, it is in the mail, and it is going to be maybe lost by the post office.
As car number 01, Brian Narducci, is on pit road. You remember, these cars do not have the luxury of having a pit crew on pit road. So once you see one of these cars head down on pit road, it usually means one thing, and that is they are all done for the day. Now, Jeff is down there covering the action on pit road, and well, you can see the amount of cars involved.
Narducci definitely did not come up to speed. So let's go.
Oh, there's a look at it as we're looking at the replay. We'll ask him to wind it back up.
Boy, there were a lot of sparks from the Joey Farino car.
And what a heartbreaker for Alexander Pearl.
Hey, we're going to get another look at it.
They come down. The 01 does not fire up at all. That sets off a chain reaction.
Alexander Pearl got bogged down behind the 01, so he went to the middle of the track, and then he got clobbered.
Here's another
angle. We see it
angle
from a different angle.
Outside lane goes, inside lane stops. Pearl gets punted to the outside. Joey Farino
had nowhere to go.
No, he was a victim of circumstances. Here's a look at it from the inside of the racetrack.
Amanda West trying to get by Narducci. She got bogged down, but she was able to avoid heavy contact. So the entire inside row was at risk when Brian Narducci, a little stutter step before he got to the start-finish line, and everyone tried to get by, and few did.
Let's go quickly down to Jeff on pit road. Jeff, what have you got for us?
Well, I talked to Brian Narducci as he was sitting in his car. It wasn't a misshift. It wasn't anything. He has no transmission. He lost the transmission on that start there. That's why the car didn't go and stacked up the whole inside line.
Don't count out young and talented Stephen Chapman because he's still right in the middle of this situation. Jonathan Pulio also there. There's the green, and it is immediately
nullified.
Yep, followed by the yellow almost before they even got, well.
They didn't even get up to speed.
Nope.
And we will have a redo with the front row populated by Mark Buckeye in the 89. He is on the outside groove, and on the inside, Robert Bloxham. So a very interesting alignment as we go back to work with 6 laps to go.
Here they come, rumbling off turn number 4. This time, will it be picture perfect? Looks good. And Buckeye has the advantage, and Pulio becomes the tail that wags the dog there.
And here comes Pulio making a power move on the outside to advance into second.
And while that's been happening, here comes Stephen Chapman. And with Stephen comes Teddy Hodgson. And believe it or not, Bob Charland is hooked up in a 5-car bid in the upper lane. Off that second turn and down the back straightaway. Here comes Pulio. And now the caution flag comes out. We believe that caution was for a car on the front straightaway that got crossed up. And that's going to tighten it all back up.
As we get ready to turn them loose.
Off turn number 4. Selection is key. And it appears that Buckeye has enough extra oomph, but it is Pulio who continues to dig hard on the bottom. Jonathan Pulio creating some noise on the inside, down the back straightaway.
But Robert Bloxham refuses to die as he tries to take third away from Stephen Chapman. Amanda West still a factor in the 15. We have problems along the rail as West goes backwards. No serious damage. Pulio takes over the lead.
Jonathan Pulio has been up front, and he is long overdue for success here at Stafford. He runs the bottom side of the racetrack. Buckeye continues to dig on the outside. They come up on lap traffic. No problems there. At the stripe, it shows in timing and scoring that Buckeye had the lead on the last circuit. 17 of 20. Pulio starts to string it out. At the point, deep into turn number 3. Here comes Chapman, Matt. Here comes Hodgson, and Bloxham just continues to dig in the upper groove, but Pulio will lead him back to the line.
But not by much, because here comes Buckeye. A resurgence on the outside. Pulio getting the advantage.
Oh, Hodgson is out of shape, Matt. Bottom of the racetrack. He tries to gather it back. All eyes back to turn number 3. It is Pulio again on the inside groove. They come off turn number 4. White flag is out, but the caution flag comes out. And you know what that means, Matt.
Yes, we do know what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for the 3 most exciting words in motorsports. Green, white, checker. To determine the winner of our 20-lap feature, Jonathan Pulio was in a shootout with Mark Buckeye when Teddy Hodgson, the point leader, ran into trouble in turn 2. Another plot twist in a race that has had a countless number more twists than you'd find in a cruller at a bakery.
You are right, Matt. And you look at timing and scoring. This is unofficial as we see it. The scoreboard tells the story. Timing and scoring backs up the scoreboard.
JP Lightning looking for his first ever Stafford victory. He is 2 laps away from achieving it.
Here they come off turn number 4. The fans are on the edge of their seats in anticipation. The junior stars of NASCAR unleashed as they rumble down to the line. Pulio's car has a problem. It has been a problem of starts, and that gives Buckeye the lead. Down the back straightaway, Bloxham moves back into second, Matt. And here comes to the outside, car number 10, Nick Anglaise. We haven't even talked about him tonight.
But he is a factor. 1 lap to go. It is Buckeye in front. Pulio trying to wrestle his way into second. He does, ahead of Bloxham, making a move on the inside. That is Stephen Chapman. But here comes Pulio going after Buckeye.
It is Pulio, high, wide, and handsome in the upper groove. Buckeye to the inside. Ladies and gentlemen, off turn number 4 at the wire. It is Mark Buckeye to take down the win. Jonathan Pulio to finish in second. What a great run.
Mark Buckeye Buckshot has taken it to victory lane. New car, same winner. How are you feeling now that you've really broken this car in, and I'd say the best way possible?
I'm feeling great. I can't thank Mark Elkis enough for letting me drive his car. AccuLift, Inc., Spafco chassis. This thing was fast. I was having a blast out there racing with him. I'm flabbergasted. I can't believe it. The 76, I got to thank Gino from RH2 Radios. He sponsored me in that 76, kept it running for a long time. But we ran short on funding, so luckily enough, Mark helped me out here with a ride, and we parked it in victory lane for him.
Well, you did a fantastic job doing that. Are there any other sponsors to thank, or did you cover them all?
I think I covered them all. I'm too excited to remember.
He's too excited to remember. Fantastic run here in Victory Lane. Probably going to put a dent on the roof of that car as he stands up on top and celebrates, but maybe that's not his style. Who knows? Let's throw it over to second and third place with Dave.
Well, I've caught up with John Puleo, and John, a tremendous run, a great battle for the win. Take us through the ride.
Yeah, it's just experience got me on that one. You know, a little kid going to the bowl. I used to watch Mark, and he's just one of the best there is. That's all, you know. And it was awesome racing with him. You know, I messed up a little bit on that last restart, and I got a little jacked up. But what are you going to do? You know, the car's amazing. These last 2 weeks, it's just, you know, we came from the back this time, so it was just awesome. I got to thank Mr. Rear Plumbing, Race Choice, Tick Mike, Gray Bar, Honest John's Used Cars, Big A Auto. Just everybody. Just a lot of fun out there. Congrats to Mark.
And there we have John Puleo, and now I'll welcome in Stephen Chapman to the podium. And Stephen, you were able to work your way through the field tonight, kind of under the radar, but a very good run.
Yeah, definitely. We've been struggling the last couple weeks, and we haven't been having the best finishes. And we were battling with Teddy first and second in the points, and this helps out a lot.
Some people behind the number 14 that always help you get here.
Oh, yeah. Apartment Homes, K&W, Rad Auto Machine, BSR, Century Machine, Napa, Tolland, Brian, Bill, my dad, my mom, my two brothers, Rick, Robbie, and everybody helps me.
And guys, that finishes up for the SK Light main event.